From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Harriet Agbe.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the death toll in Kano explosion rises to over 150. The Emir court's short visit to Saudi Arabia over attack. Doctors protest non-payment of salaries in Lagos as patients lament plight over strike by joint health workers. Governor Amosun rescinds decision to scrap Tai Sholarin University of Education located in Ijebu-Ode. And Egypt court drops case against former President Hosni Mubarak, accused of conspiring to kill protesters during the uprising that toppled him. On business news tonight, the interbank lending rate slips by 800 basis points and analysts expect rates may rise next week on purchase of treasury bills and foreign exchange at the central bank auction.
In sports news, Ray Rice is free to play again in the National Football League after winning an appeal against his indefinite suspension.
We begin tonight in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, where the death toll in the multiple explosions on Friday is said to have risen to over 150. The attack took place at the Emir's Palace Mosque during Friday prayers after two vehicles loaded with bombs exploded outside the mosque. Another exploded inside the building shortly after. Meanwhile, the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, has directed a cleanup of the scene of the explosion, saying the attack was aimed at stopping people from praying in the mosque. The Emir, who was in Saudi Arabia for a 2-week break, cut short his visit and returned to Kano this evening and inspected the scene of the blast. He had recently urged people in the north to defend themselves against the terrorists. Earlier, the acting commissioner of police in the state, Sanusi Lemu, told our correspondent that about 150 people injured in the blast were receiving treatment.
We got a message from the control that there was an explosion at Emir Palace Central Mosque. Our teams moved to the scene to ascertain what actually happened. A suicide bomber in a vehicle and some 3 armed men who also landing their bodies with some IEDs enter into the mosque with 3 AK-47, and after the first explosion outside the mosque, when the prayer just commenced, then the ones that get entrance into the mosque started firing. But fortunately, they were apprehended, and 3 of them were apprehended. 3 of them were apprehended and killed instantly by the mob. Yes, and we've recovered 2 of their AK-47 rifles with 4 magazines.
While Kano is still reeling from the attack, the number of displaced persons from the northeast regions has grown as most of them trooping to the nation's capital, Abuja. In the last 3 months alone, over 5 camps have been set up by families who fled their homes for safety within and around Abuja.
Call them refugees and you may not be wrong. These are internally displaced persons, victims of the continued onslaught of the insurgents in northeastern Nigeria. They have become refugees in their own land. Each day, their survival depends on the goodwill of individuals, groups, and government agencies.
Su ma suka ce to mu zauna, sun bar mu ba wani abu muna zama abu mu. So muna samu taimako daga wasu churches musamman kamar Realm of Glory. Muna gode mishi saboda shine ma ya kawo mutanen nema zuwa nan.
To sai dai gwamnati da ya taimake mu a yanda rayuwar da muke ciki. in ba tare da su ba don gashi aikin da muke yana din ma ba wani aiki muke yi ba. Inda ce gari yana da lafiya kowa zai koma gida.
Many of these families have lost loved ones to attacks by insurgents. But however bitter life may be in this camp, they prefer it to their original homes where terrorists have taken over everything, and only those who accept their ideologies are allowed to leave.
To, sai kuma yaron mu kuma in kaman yaro namiji sai su kama sai su tafi da shi. Tsofaffi kuma za su tubar da shi. Mu mata kaman mu yan mata kanana haka nan kuma za su aurar da mu.
A ce akwai securities ba za a samu wannan damuwa din sosai ba, amma tun da ya zama ba securities yanzu in ka je kasan goza duk mutumin da in ka gani har yana kasan goza to in ba yana supporting Boko Haram bane ba za ka taba ga mutum ba, sai dai in baka supporting in kana supporting nasu to za ka zo na, amma baka supporting nasu ko kai musulmi ne kai Christian ne za su kashe ka.
The Nigerian Red Cross Society says over 400,000 persons have been internally displaced by terrorists since 2013. They say it will cost over 480 million naira to cater to the needs of 150,000 displaced persons from the region.
The need are enormous. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent, at the request of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, launched an emergency appeal on the 5th of November 2014 to the tune of 2,777,899 CHF, that is Swiss franc, equivalent to 480 million Nigerian naira, to support the Nigerian Red Cross intervention in the Northeast.
No one knows how long the situation in the Northeast will last. One thing is sure, however, the number of camps like this will continue to increase unless security in the region improves.
Back here in the southwest, doctors in a Lagos State civil service have staged a peaceful march to protest non-payment of salaries owed them for 4 months. The physicians, who carried placards bearing various inscriptions, marched around the premises of the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUT, chanting solidarity songs, said that other states had been paid their salaries for the period during which doctors were on nationwide strike.
Our salaries. April, May 2012, August, September 2014. We went on strike following a national call. Everybody in the country was paid except for Lagos State. We wonder, we sincerely wonder, if we were the government that has a pathological hatred for doctors, the custodian of the health delivery, we wonder how such government would be.
For over 2 weeks, health workers in federal institutions around the nation have been on strike, demanding that agreements reached with the government be implemented. A visit by Channels Television to some hospitals in Lagos show that most wards remain deserted, and some patients who stayed back are feeling the impact of the strike. Our correspondent, Mary Alala Yusuf, reports.
A visit to the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital and the National Orthopedic Hospital in Igbobi reveals that the health workers' strike looks as serious as when it began. As you can see, this gate is under lock and key. We're told that beyond this place is a 46-bed ward, but there's not a single patient in it. At the orthopedic hospital, we are told that this door would normally be open, but someone has to unlock it from the other side for us to gain entry. In this part of the hospital, there are still patients because their spinal injuries make them unable to walk.
This is how it usually is. Nobody is taking care of us. We don't have water or light because of the strike.
We want to strike.
They gave us notice that they have discharged us, that they cannot do the work alone. Without the nurses, they cannot do the work alone. And since then, no care, nothing. They even drop our drugs with us, our files, they drop it with us and ask us to leave.
When I saw what they are doing now, and there's no alternative, I have to do it myself because things are going roughly. And you look at it, people have lost their life, as you are seeing. Somebody was here before, but it's no more.
Outside, Placard-carrying members of the Joint Health Workers Unions show their angst for what they feel is a display of partiality by the government to doctors in granting the physicians their desires, yet depriving them of their rights, some of which have been ruled on by the courts.
It has to be turned into circular because this body have been deceived on many occasions. As soon as they call them for negotiations, they will call off the strike. And the members are saying that no.
In his reply to a catalogue of their grievances, the Supervising Minister of Health, Dr. Khaliru Al-Hassan, promises that the government will address their demands to the satisfaction of all.
Mr. President is looking at all angles, and what is supposed to be yours, nobody will deny you. I want to assure you that we will be fair to all. The way the doctors are being treated, we will give you equal treatment. Nobody is more superior to any other because it's a teamwork in the health sector. So please continue to be law-abiding. I'm very happy that you stayed.
It looks like a friendly parting, but the health workers informed the minister that by Monday, the 1st of December, their counterparts in the state and local government hospitals are meant to join the strike if results are not forthcoming. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, concerned individuals and groups discuss ways to reposition the Lagos State University. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.